Assalamu alaikum. You are watching Desi TV USA and I am Rumesa Qureshi. Let's have a look at a special report. On November 22, the focus was on the crucial role of ballot measures in promoting health equity and the increasing threats against this democratic mechanism. Ballot measures have been instrumental in advancing initiatives such as paid sick leave, minimum wage increases, and abortion rights. However, over 100 bills introduced this year seek to limit access to this vital tool. Experts like Dr. Evnell Joseph and Chris Fields-Figueroa shared insights on defending ballot measures to ensure they continue addressing health equity and other pressing societal issues. Interested individuals were encouraged to register online to stay informed and engage on this pivotal discussion. This briefing served as a reminder of the broader application of protecting democratic process for everyone's well-being.
Okay, good morning, folks. Welcome to today's EMS Friday virtual news briefing, which is the third in a series we are presenting in partnership with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, a national philanthropy dedicated to promoting health equity. I'm Sunita Sarabji, Ethnic Media Services Health Editor, and your moderator today. So just for background, RWJF supported the first National Expo of Ethnic Media in New York City way back in 2005. And it's an honor to help expand its communications outreach to the ethnic media sector. So we turn our attention this week to state ballot measures, which are a powerful way for voters to participate directly in policymaking at the state level.
This briefing. I'm really thrilled to join you all here today and look forward to engaging with you on a topic that is a key priority for the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Our organization, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, is committed to policies that have the power to advance fairness in health outcomes for everyone, regardless of race, gender, class, or other identifying characteristics. So we can make progress towards creating a thriving society where health is not a privilege for some, but a right for all.
Evnell, there are a number of questions for you, but we'll start with Henrietta Burrows. Henrietta, please ask your question.
Thanks so much, Sunita. What are the reasons given for those who'd like to restrict ballot measures? I mean, you have to have a certain number of signatures on a petition, don't you, to put a ballot measure on the ballot? So what are the obstructions, reasons given?
Yeah. I would invite Chris for this question. I'm not sure any of the reasons given are ones that feel very valid on their face. Often these changes are being made because state legislators, those who have been elected into office, don't want the power to be taken away from them to make change. They also say that it might protect the state from being influenced by outside politics or outside money. That's often a reason that's given, although we see that that's not really what's playing out in many states, where on-the-ground organizations and communities are really coming together to collect the signatures and to advance policies that they most care about.
Thank you. Which states do not allow ballot measures? Another question from reporters.
Oh, that's one I'm going to have to put in the chat. Unless Chris, you know that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe what will be helpful, and I'll drop it in the chat, is we have a ballot measure hub on the BISC website, and also sort of an FAQ section that has a chart of the states that do have it. And so then you can make the assumption everywhere else. And we're talking very specifically about the citizen-led process at a statewide level. Some, for example, maybe if you're in Alabama, you don't have the citizen-led process statewide, but you may be able to do it at the municipal or county level in some of these states. And then all states in the United States, their state legislatures can refer something to the ballot. It's called a legislatively referred constitutional amendment, which we are actually seeing happen more and more in states that don't have the citizen-led process. One specific example that, BISC, we helped our partners in Kentucky defeat a school voucher ballot measure that was referred by the state legislature. So I'll drop in the ballot measure hub, and Richard, maybe you can give a little more context of why, as someone who fights it every legislative cycle in Missouri.
Has successfully used ballot measures to protect Medicaid and to increase the state's minimum wage, among other initiatives the organization has successfully implemented with ballot measures. So, reporters, please keep your questions coming for all our speakers today. And Richard, welcome. Please begin.
Thank you, Sunita. Again, my name is Richard Von Glahn. I use the he, him pronouns. I have worked at Missouri Jobs with Justice for the last 12 years. In my time there, we have raised the minimum wage originally once, but now 2.5 weeks ago, now twice in my time there, as well as protected collective bargaining rights for workers, allowed workers to organize into unions, and expanded Medicaid to over 250,000 Missourians to help provide health care to them. So I believe very strongly in the ballot measure process. It is a tool that has existed in Missouri for over 100 years. So I like to say probably everybody in Missouri, or just about everybody in Missouri, has always had this right. And it serves as an important check on our legislature if the legislature is not meeting the needs of the people. There have been years where ballot initiatives have not been very common, and then there have been years where ballot initiatives have been very common. And I think that reflects on whether the legislature is meeting the needs of our community. I don't know the history of that in any way, but I mean, statutory initiatives can be used to, promote or change initiatives in different ways. What I do know is a lot of times we see initiatives that are the result of failures of our elected officials to really meet the needs of a community. And if we have more responsive elected officials, I actually think ballot initiatives will not be as common. When we see more ballot initiatives happening, it is because our politics are broken and are not meeting the needs of our communities.
Thank you, Richard. Our final speaker today is Chris Melody Fields-Figueroa, who will discuss why ballot measures may be in jeopardy in many states. Chris will also discuss how to protect this critical tool of democracy. Chris, welcome.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Chris Melody Fields-Figueroa, she, her, ella work for me as pronouns. On second reference, Fields is fine. And it's a great pleasure to be a part of this because I'm bilingual. I grew up with English and Spanish in my household, and Spanish was actually my first language. So thank you for the opportunity to be in community with reporters who are providing really important services and language services to your communities. We speak Spanish mostly I mostly speak Spanish with my mom, and served as a translator for her I still do in my life. So providing those in-language services is just so vitally important. So I have deep appreciation. So BISC, the Ballot Initiative Strategy, and then our sister organization, our C3 BISC Foundation, is at its core, sometimes I like to think of us as special teams. We help amazing leaders like Richard, although Richard teaches us more often than not. Um, but other amazing leaders and organizations across the country in the United States, to think about how we use ballot measures or direct democracy to what Richard has so beautifully illustrated, directly impact people's lives and give them the opportunity to be their own agents in our democracy, to change the material conditions of their lives, whether it's reproductive rights, whether it's minimum wage, whether it's fair redistricting, whether it's Medicaid expansion. That is what we are set here to do, is to provide our partners with the research, the training, just getting on a phone call. Or Richard and I text often, and just be sort of, our partners, to make sure that we can help them turn the dreams that they are trying to create for their communities into a reality. And I think that speaks to the distrust we have right now in the United States with institutions and government. And I think there's an important bridge that ballot measures can play to restore that trust. Because what we have seen at BISC, from our own research, is people trust themselves and they trust their communities. And so how can ballot measures be a vehicle for people to restore trust in some of our democratic institutions?
Thank you. Evnell, final remarks from you?
Well, I could not say it better than what Chris just said. I think, just finally, there was also a question in the chat about maintain this as a key tool of our democracy, and we are committed to this work and to creating a future that all of our children and our grandchildren deserve.
Excellent closing remarks. Thank you to all of our speakers and to our reporters for joining us today. And just to note, we will not have a briefing next Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, to give you guys a chance to recover from turkey, overeating turkey. And we'll see you on the following Friday.
That's all for now. Keep watching Desi TV USA, Desi Urdu TV, Desi Sports, and our OTT platform, DTV Flix, where you can watch more than 3,000 channels.